Welcome to Wrong Time Watch. My name is Kevin, and today we're looking at the Island Watch Islander Monster compared to my two Seiko Monsters. This is a Gen 2 Monster, and this is the current generation of the Seiko Monster. Unfortunately, I don't have a Seiko Monster with the stainless steel bezel, but we'll just compare these real quick. So the Long Island Watch Islander Monster is based off the Gen 1 Monster. You can see it in the dial here with the indices. The Gen 2 Seiko Monster, all of the indices are pointed versus just I believe it's just the 12 o'clock on the Gen 1. I never owned a Gen 1 Monster. This one here is my first Seiko Monster, and I actually bought this right around the time that they were discontinued. I bought two of them. I bought this one, and then I had I think it was the 581. It had actually had a blued bezel like this one here. I sold that some time ago. Kind of regret it, but anyway. So let's look at these two here together first. We'll compare the Gen 2 against the Islander Monster ISL 60. This is SRP315 bracelet. You could also get this on the rubber. I think it's K1 versus K3 or K2, something like that. And this is SRPE27. I'll put that information in the description. As you can tell, I haven't really worn this watch. Might actually sell it. I don't know, but okay, let's get into the video here. The ISL 60 has a double dome sapphire crystal. This one is, of course, Hardlex, Seiko's proprietary mineral crystal. It's supposed to be harder than mineral crystal. But you can see a lot of similarities in the case here. The cases are almost identical. There's a little bit of a difference on how the lugs are here. Not sure you can see that or not. Just the end of the lugs are a little bit different shaped. But from about a foot away, they look essentially the same. They both have drilled lugs. The cutouts in the case are a little bit different. The one on my left hand, a little more rounded. These are more squared off. But very similar style watches. You can see the bottom of these lugs are a little more squared off too. Seiko's a little more rounded. They both have the same movement essentially. The NH36 and the 4R36 and the Seiko. Day-date complication. They're both hacking, hand winding. Both of these have a knurled crown. This one may stick out a little bit more. Yeah, this one is, of course, is blackened to match the black bezel. But very similar style watches. I never actually sized the bracelet on this. I wore this on a needle strap for maybe a week and put it back in the box. And that was probably a couple years ago. So anyway, this has pins and collars. And this one has screwed links, so much easier to size. I have sized 1 or 2 pin and collar watches. It's doable. It just takes some time and patience, and it takes a long, I don't know if this one has, I think I might have broke it, but it takes a long spring bar tool or a long piece of metal here to push in. Not this one, of course, but anyway. So both have solid links. This is an end link. I guess not really an end link, but it's the last link on the bracelet. This portion of the clasp is stamped, and then this is milled. This one does not have a dive extension. Case back is a little more simple. Just looks like it's laser engraved here. Not a big deal. The Seiko, again, stamped clasp, stamped safety clasp, and then this portion in the middle is stamped as well. It doesn't bother me. I don't know why some folks make a big deal out of that. Stamped is just fine. And this one does have a diver's extension, which I have never used. So there we go. Gives you an extra, I don't know, half an inch of extension there. Did we get it back in there? It looks like I did. Double pushers with the safety clasp, so it's very secure. Now this one, of course, is signed with Seiko, and Islander is unsigned. However, it does have a signed crown. I've not compared the Lume to any of these yet, so we'll check that out at the end of the video. Very interested in that. I suspect the Lume's going to be about the same. So Islander versus the current generation Seiko. This is Hardlex, flat Hardlex versus the double dome sapphire crystal with AR coating. You see the end link is different. Well, this actually has an end link, so the integration of the bracelet into the case is different. And this has the fixed lugs, which protrude out farther than the case lugs. I like the way this is better, because when you put a strap on there, it kind of gives it an integrated look as well. A little more well, you have a lot more articulation here with that end link. Folds all the way under. And this one here just kind of juts out. I really like how they would relieve the case underneath the main case here, and the bracelet would just integrate in there really nicely. I'm not sure why they went to this style on the new Monster. And also, the cutouts are a little bit different on this. These come to a point. I like the new bezel and case. This bezel protrudes out farther than the case. These ones here, the bezel is actually inset from the case a little bit. Let's see if we look at it from this way. You see the case actually sticks out farther than the bezel on the Islander Monster. And I believe on the second gen Seiko Monster it's the same way. Yeah, that bezel is just slightly inboard. The case is just slightly proud of the bezel. Bezel action is nice and easy on this one. This is nice and easy as well. Just one finger. 120 click bezel, unidirectional, of course. This one here, the crown is outside of the, I guess I'll call it a bezel shroud. So this crown is not as protected as the Gen 2 Monster or as the Islander Monster here. And also this one is knurled, and this one is not. They both work equally as well. Same movement on this, the 4R36 versus the NH36. As far as I know, the movements are essentially the same, just branded a little differently when Seiko sells the movement to second-party watch manufacturers like Island Watch. I still have mixed feelings on the candy bar day and date magnifier. Let's take a look at the size on both of these. Yeah, these lugs are a little more squared off. Drilled lugs, of course. So some pros and cons to both of these. I believe the price is less on the Islander Monster. This is $280. I don't know what the current price is on these new from, actually you could go to the Long Island Watch website and compare those. I'll try and do that and put that in the description as well. So again, solid end link, solid links. This one uses pins and collar, pin and collar. Stamped. The entire clasp is stamped, and this one does have the dive extension as well, which I will never use, but it's there if you need it. Can be a little tricky to put back in sometimes. Of course, a signed clasp, unsigned crown. So I'll put each of these on wrist again, and we can end the video with the Lume. If you have not already subscribed, please go ahead and do so. I'd greatly appreciate it. All right, so SRPE27. In case you didn't notice, this is the Paddy version of the Monster. I still need to do a video of my Seiko Paddy watch collection. Maybe I'll do that one of these days. And here is my, I guess I call this the Halloween Monster. I had thoughts of converting this to a SRP309, and that's with the stainless bezel and the orange chapter ring and orange dial. Maybe I'll do that, probably not. Here we go with the Islander Monster, ISL 60. This one again is SRP315. One other thing to note, I'll show you, well, this one has 3 micro adjust on the clasp, and the Seikos have 4. It's a little bit larger of a clasp. So here we are with the ISL 60. They're all essentially the same size. They all have a short, well, these two have a short lug to lug. This one is a little bit longer because of the way the end link is integrated into the watch. So I really wish Seiko wouldn't have done that. All right, let's take a look at the Lume. All right, so on the left, of course, we have the ISL 60 from Long Island Watch, the Islander 60. In the middle, we have my SRP315, and on the right, the SRPE27. I always forget that the Paddy has a little bit different lume. The minute hand is green, and then everything else on it is the blue color. Well, the lume pip is also green. So comparing the Lume, I really don't see much of a difference between the Islander and the Seiko. So Lume is very comparable. So let me know which of these 3 watches you prefer. Just drop a comment below. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.